Yeah, Morgan, they're all over the downtown area. In case things do get out of control tonight, most of the marches have now ended for today. Everybody's kind of come here outside of City Hall. You can see people are on top of the bus coverings there and really packed into this area. But at one point, firefighters and the LAPD believe there are around 20,000 people who were here in the downtown area, to the point where it was so busy that they were saying, look, if you have a medical emergency, firefighters and paramedics won't be able to get in. Things are calming down right now. No big incidents here. It's been more like a street fair at times as people have been dancing and they've had live bands and that sort of thing beginning to wrap up here now. The worry.
That's exactly what I seen yesterday. When I was out there, what I seen, it felt like a circus. You know, you had dancing, you had, you know, people selling things, mascots, people in costumes, people wearing alien masks. It was like pandemonium as far as like the level of seriousness. I didn't feel no level of seriousness, right, in that protest. And I'm just saying that in general, but I'm gonna play a video. I put together a little clip, some little footage that I got yesterday. So let me play that real quick.
One more, one. Hey, what's good, man? Listen, man. Get up, brother. Gracias.
Yeah. Now that was some of the footage that I got. Of course, you've seen all type of people. Of course, you know, white people, LGBTQ. I mean, the list goes on and on of the different organizations that was out there. Of course, Black and brown, Hispanic brothers out there, Mexican flags, all of that. You heard the chant in the beginning, F Donald Trump. People was really on that type of time at that, you know, yesterday. A huge police presence, National Guards, all of that. But like I said, at the end of the day, it wasn't really serious. And I thought to myself, that's usually how protests are. Protests really don't do anything as far as being effective. It's a show of people being upset at policies or injustices. But in the big picture, protesting is something that is encouraged in America. You have a right to protest. And even in the Black community, protests don't really, you know, fix the issues that we are upset about. Now, you know, the last week or so, 2 weeks, probably, if you want to look at it like that, Black people have been expressing that they're standing down. They're standing down because Mexicans are racist. Mexican people are racist towards Black people. This is something that I think should foster a good conversation. And so what I thought and what my brother thought, we're going to have conversations like that amongst ourselves with our brown brothers. But I think here on Black Authentic Truth would be a good idea for brothers and sisters, whether you're Mexican or Puerto Rican, particularly Mexican, right? And Black brothers to come on the platform, and we can do it on a live stream, and we can air out our differences as Black and brown people, and, you know, talk about what makes you feel or how you were raised to think about Black people, or how you were raised to think about Mexican people. Just talking to some of my brothers, I see a lot of similarities in how we're raised. We're raised with a racial prejudice towards one another in our own households, which this is something that don't get spoken about a lot of at all anyway. Another thing is that when you look at, you know, the history between black and brown. There's a rich history between us. And at one point in time, it's like we all knew who the oppressor was, but now it seems like we're just fighting for scraps and we're trying to, you know, air out each other instead of looking at how did we get to this point? Like in everything, like when I talk about, or when they talk about, you know, the crime that black people do, the things that black people do, black people didn't just start off dysfunctional just because. Black people are just not natural born criminals just because. You know what I'm saying? We're not living in the ghetto. We're not, you know, impoverished just because we want to be there, or we want that as a group. I'm not saying individual. I'm speaking in general as a group. You have to look at history and see, how did we get here? What are the things that got us here? Like, you don't look at nobody and you don't look at a millionaire as the end result and say, well, he was a millionaire. You got to look at the history of why is he a millionaire? What did he do? What steps did he take? Did he go to college? Did he go to school? Is he an entrepreneur? Was the wealth handed down? Did it just come down to him? How did he get to be a millionaire? The same as with a homeless person. How did they get to be a homeless person? There's a history behind that. It ain't just, they just came, you know, grew up and said, hey, I want to be a homeless person. There's a woman that's on a pole, a stripper. She didn't grow up and want to be a stripper. You have to look at the history of what did she go through? How was she raised in her house to make her think that that was okay? Did somebody molest her? Did somebody touch her? How did her mind get so demented to think that this is the way? Why does a brother think that he should sell drugs? This is the only way to make it. How did he get that mind state? How was he raised? What did he see? So it's the same goes with black and brown relation. You know what I mean? As far as how you have this racial tension, and it's always been that. Now, I've seen a lot of black people online talking about, you know, what they heard in California, what they heard, how Mexicans treat black people in LA. You can't go off what you heard. You got to go off of what you know. And so I would ask those same black people, what is your personal experience with Mexicans? Because I got a lot of personal experiences, good and bad. The same as with black people. I got a lot of good and bad experiences that shaped, you know, how I looked at my people. So what I think is this would foster a good conversation. Some brothers come online, come on to Black Authentic Truth, and some Mexican brothers come on Black Authentic Truth and have a discussion on the differences in how we're raised in our households and how we feel about one another. Because at the end of the day, we got to this point because of oppression.